Hello, Roger in Las Vegas, Nevada. Matthew here with PrePrescriptionLenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to cut transitions gray lenses with Crizal anti-glare for your Oakley. What is this one? It is the tinfoil in carbon. It is the model number 06018 in color 01, which is the matte black and silver with gray. Let's take everything out of the packaging that you sent it to me, because I am not yet an authorized Oakley dealer, so you had to purchase these elsewhere and then mail them to me for the frame, your Oakley case, your Oakley cleaning cloth, which is also the transport bag, and your Oakley sunglass frame. But I am going to cut clear lenses with transitions to go in there. Of course, it comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from being shipped from overseas, and of course I'm going to put that on there when I ship back to you. I am currently meeting with Oakley now. We're just ironing out the details. You have to purchase 60 pairs, called a buy-in. I have to buy 60 frames in order to carry them, and I'm just trying to figure out which 60 frames I will be purchasing to start my buy-in with Oakley. This is a great carbon fiber frame. You can see that texture on the temples. I believe this is one that I just may have to buy and add it to my collection. I might have to get this for myself. This is a nice frame. But let me go ahead and begin. I'm going to take my Phillips blade screwdriver, do a little lefty-loosey until I can get the original demo lenses out. Come on out, come on out. You know you want to come out. I'm going to tighten that back down. Do the same thing now for the other side. A little lefty-loosey. Take out the original demo lens. Righty-tighty. Tighten everything back up. This is pretty cool. No screws on here. It is a screwless hinge. They have a barrel in there holding it together. He showed me that when he was showing me part of the collection. That's what's unique about this frame. I'm going to go ahead and take it, put it into the tracing out of my edger, and hit start. A little stylus is going to pop up, and it's going to go around and trace the inside of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Here at FreePrescriptionLenses.com, where you buy one of my frames that I offer, hopefully in the future it will be Oakley, and you will receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. Roger in Las Vegas, you and I both need prescription, so that's what we're going to wear. In fact, I just got finished making my own frames. These are the Gucci 11119, and it is the video right before yours. So this is the shape of the lens we are cutting, only magnified. I will minify it down to the actual size. I will minify it again while I work on it. The pupillary distance of your right eye is 31.5. We're going to enter that at 31.5. I do want to raise the optical center height up a bit. And let's go ahead and come down here and get your lenses prepped. Let me get your lenses out. We're going to come down here. Let's see, your right eye reads -250 -1, -250 -1 at 104. We're going to spin the axis wheel to 104. Put the power drum on -250. Take your lens out of the protective sleeve it comes in there. It actually comes with a little laminate on the front of the lens to protect the lens itself while it is being shipped to me. I'm going to put that on your lens while I ship to you. If they think it's a good idea to start it with it that way, I'm going to finish it that way. I'm just going to put the laminate right there for now. Put the lens into the lensometer. I'm going to rotate it until the spherical component comes in clearly. Find the optical center of your frame. Check the Astigmatism Correction. Now I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses, which are hard to see, so I'm going to, where's a good pen? Where's a good pen? I got one hiding back here. Let's go ahead and darken that. 1, 2, and 3. And this is the right lens. In fact, let me go ahead and mark your packets that you will be receiving. That is the right. I will highlight your prescription. If I can get all my pens out. -250 -1. That way you know you're getting the authentic packets that everything came in. I'm going to do the same thing now for your left lens, which reads -275 -150 at 0.55. Let's turn the axis wheel to 0.55, exactly halfway between 50 and 60. Let's see, 275. We're going to put the power drum on 275. Take the lens out of the protective sleeve. Take the laminate off the lens, stick that on the packet, put the lens in, rotate until the spherical component comes in clearly. It's just like the crosshairs of a scope that I'm looking in now. Check your astigmatism correction. Get everything lined up perfectly. And now I'm going to put, come on ink, I just put some new ink in there, make sure it works. Put 3 dots on your lenses, which are even weaker this time. That ink runs out quick. Uno, dos, 99. And this is the left lens. Let's go ahead and mark this one left. And again, highlight your prescription. There's 2 ways of writing a prescription, in plus formula and in minus cylinder. I do everything in minus 150, minus 150. If you missed any of that, let me recap. Oh, you didn't think I was going to sneak that in there, did you? Okay, so we're going to come back down here. To get your lenses prepped, I'll take your right lens, place it onto the platform. The left lens, I will sit down here. Now, this is a block, or as I like to call them, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. That's what's going to hold it in place inside the edger. So I need to attach a double-sided adhesive sticker, of which I've got 2 up here. I'm going to place the sticker onto the first block, put that on the platform, place the sticker onto the second block. Now on the back of here is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice today. The first time I'm going to pull the paper away to make the black side sticky, but now the magnet is going to hold it in place into something magnetical there in the arm. Now the reason why I put those 3 dots on there, it tells me that everything is lined up in there perfectly. So that is what I'm going to do if I can find my stylus. That is the optical center that goes there. That blue cross is the geometric center of your frame. If I were to measure vertically and horizontally, that is where that would be. And check one thing. We're good. So we're going to, hang on, double check. Yeah, 31.5, 31.5. Get everything lined up in there just perfectly. And then I'm going to hit the button and the arm's going to come down and place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing now for the left lens. We're going to double check your pupillary distance is 32.5. I'm going to raise that up to 32.5. Get everything lined up in there perfectly. Double check everything. We are good. And oh, got to put the block in there. Let's pull the paper away to get that there. Get everything lined up again as I've moved it. Hit that button. Down comes the block onto the left lens. Now, this is the edger. This is what costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy their own. Then you can cut your own glasses at home and you won't need me anymore. The actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material. This wheel in the center with that channel, that little valley that the stylus is in, that's what's going to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. So let's go ahead and take the right lens and we're going to place it into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles. If you've seen my videos, you know that I just don't know this machine well enough to call it chuck. I'm going to wake up the computer. That was the shape of my lens that was on there. That is now the shape of yours. These are polycarbonate lenses. If it were plastic, Hyndex plastic or Trivex, I would select that. But because these are polycarbonate, I will stick with that setting. I do not want to polish the edge of your lenses, even though it's a metal frame. With transition lenses and with anti-glare, polishing the edges of lenses allows in glare, and I don't want to do that. Since you paid for the anti-glare, why would you let more glare in? I'm not going to put a bevel onto the front surface of the lens, the convex surface. I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. I'm going to hit the green arrow, which is start in every language. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by the 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around tracing the shape. And the old carpenter saying, measure the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing you, giving you the best cosmetic look possible. Now in just a moment the cutting wheel is going to move into the center of the frame. There you go. Now if you see light flickering in the background, that is water there to catch the optical sawdust as it comes off of your lens. Water will spray onto the lens for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle, but polycarbonate lenses cut dry. plastic, high index plastic, and Trivex cut wet. So your lens has begun cutting. Now, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. They are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes. Unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that you have to reapply every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun. Out in Las Vegas, this is permanent and never needs to be reapplied. Now, as I mentioned, you are getting the Essilor brand of transition lenses. Essilor calls polycarbonate airwear because they feel it is light as air. The TR stands for transitions. The Roman numerals V11 is 7. GY stands for gray. Of course, don't take my word for it. You have Transition Signature 7 gray lenses there with Crizal Alizé. Now, I'll demonstrate the transitions later. The anti-glare coating that you have is 3 features in one. The first feature is that it eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but also from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights, and of course all those neon lights out there in Las Vegas that'll be flashing at you. But it's also an anti-reflective lens, so when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses, they're looking at just your eyes. So it makes for much better eye contact. Plus, if you take a picture or a selfie, or if someone takes a picture of you with the flash, you won't see the flash lit up in the lens, you'll see just your eyes. So again, makes for much better eye contact and cosmetic quality. The third feature that I like, which is the practical side, is that the machine that applies the anti-glare coating costs well over $1 million. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize the 7 different coatings onto your lens. So because of the time and the expense, they're going to give you the industry's most premium scratch protection on this lens. Now, water has begun spraying onto the lens, telling me it's in the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle. And now, just a moment, a lever is going to move into the field of view. At the end of that lever on the right is a spinning wheel, something like you would find on the end of a Dremel tool for smoothing out edges, and that's what it's doing. It's polishing, well, it's putting a safety bevel, excuse me, it's not polishing, but it's putting a safety bevel onto the rear concave surface of the lens. So should any of this lens protrude out of the back surface of the frame and come into contact with the cheek, which it won't because you have nose pads. It's usually more critical with plastic frames, but should any of this come into contact with the cheek, this is smooth and not be uncomfortable. So I'm going to get a paper towel, I'm going to take your lens out, we're going to dry your lens off. I'm going to, ooh, look at that, there's still a lot of swarf on your lens. May the swarf be with you. So I'm going to, hopefully you can see it against the background. I'm very meticulous. I want to clean your lens before I insert it in the frame, so I'm going to use my thumbnail to remove all of the optical debris off the edge of the lens. And once I'm convinced it's all off and it's on the counter, I carefully collect it neatly into one pile, and then I wipe it on the floor. Because I tell kids, I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess like this. So kids, if you want to grow up and make a mess, you gotta stay in school. So let's go ahead. Where's my Phillips head screwdriver? There it is with the little red tip on there. I'm going to do lefty-loosey until it opens up. Is it open? Yes, it is. I'm going to go ahead and take the right lens, tuck it into place. We're going to see if it fits into the frame first time around, or if I need to take it down some more. Is the bevel in there? Is the bevel in there? Nope, I do want to take it down a little bit more. We can make that better. We'll make that fit better. That's rare for a metal frame. So I'm going to take this back out. I apologize, this is going to take a little bit longer than normal, but I am a perfectionist, and you want someone like me cutting your lenses before they get shipped worldwide. So, hit the retouch button, just like before. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to go down to the bevel wheel and go round and round until it takes a little bit off. Where's your demo lenses? Here. I'm going to take a little bit off over and over again until it fits into the frame to give you the best cosmetic look possible. So water has begun spraying, telling me it's just finishing up the cycle. The old carpenter's rule, you can always cut more off a piece of wood, you can never add it back on. Same thing for the lens, so it starts a little bit large and then works its way back down until it's the perfect size. I will open this door with my mind. Thank you very much. I can do other things with my mind. I can melt ice with my mind. I can. It just takes me a couple hours, but I can do it. I just keep staring at it. Keep staring at it. Look at that. More swarf on there. I'm just going to drop it straight onto the floor and laugh. I always enjoy doing that. Whenever the clown gets to laugh at work, you know it's a good day at work. Okay, let's try again. Let's see if it fits. We're going to tuck it in at the nose. We're going to make sure everything is in its place. See if it tightens down all the way now. If not, I will take a little bit more off. And actually I do want to take a little bit more off. I apologize again for the delay. I shouldn't apologize. You get to watch a little bit longer. But again, I'm going to make sure it's perfect before anything gets shipped. Hit retouch again. Now the right lens always takes a little bit longer to get the size just right. Once it's done, we'll flip it over and cut the left. Starting up the spinning wheel. Round and round, out comes the water. Yeah, the hard part, what 60 pairs of Oakleys do I want to purchase and put on the website? Actually, my wife is the one who uploads all the images and the inventory. So what 60 frames is she going to work on doing? Okay. We'll keep our fingers crossed that it fits. If not, you know what we're going to do. We're going to take a little bit more off. Hit the button. Out comes the lens. Run the thumbnail around, get all that off, that the water didn't rinse off. Tuck everything in. Is it in? Is it in? Now let's see if the screw tightens. There we go. Tightens down all the way. That is perfect. Let's go ahead and do your left lens, which actually is a little bit stronger, so I may have to do it again for the left lens, depending on the thickness. So, let's see, flip that over to L, put that in and hit start. Just like before, the door closes, the clamp shuts. And the lens is going to be traced by the two white styluses, making sure that's large enough to fit into the frame. And you can see as it's going around, measuring that shape. And the old carpenter saying, measure twice, cut once, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing for the best cosmetic look possible. Let's go ahead and take this block off. It is no longer needed. We're going to come down here to the lensometer. And we're going to spin the axis wheel back to 104. Put the lens in above that red dot, which is the pupillary distance in the optical center. Read the power. And we are getting, actually that's, is that right? 104. I'm putting it at 114. No wonder it didn't look good in there. Now we're looking good. Now that's perfect. And we're getting minus 250, exactly halfway between 2 and 3. Now, the unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R, starting at 0 and going up in quarter increments from there, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, and so on. You're on the 10th rung of the ladder. You need 10 steps of far-sighted correction. Roger, you are nearsighted with your glasses off. Everything is much larger than it appears in real life. So that's why there's a minus sign. Your lenses will minify down to the correct size to make everything the right size image. Now you need 4 steps of astigmatism correction. Now there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. It's like saying someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. That is it. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. You have one curve on your eye going this way, which needs 10 steps of correction. You have a second curve on your eye, which needs another 4 steps of correction. And it's how we line up those curves. And we're going to line those curves up at 104. First, I want to check your astigmatism correction. And we end up at minus 350, exactly halfway between 3 and 4. Remember high school algebra where you add the 2 like signs together? Don't worry, I've forgotten it too. Let's use today's terms. If someone had let you borrow $2.50 and then you let them borrow another dollar, they would owe you $3.50. That's where we're at, 350 in the red. Now, your left eye needs an additional 11th step of correction, and it needs 6 steps of astigmatism correction. And we're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 55. That's what astigmatism is. It's like a fine-tune knob. The cap of the pen is at 0, going to 90 at 180. A straight line is 0 to 180. We're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 104, just past the 90 meridian to about 104. Your left eye, we're just going to turn it just past the 45 meridian to about 55. Now this number is really relatively obscure. These first 2 numbers are real values to be concerned with. This number could be anywhere from 0 to 180. Let's see, we can go ahead and take that out. How much time do we have left on your left lens? It is now getting the safety bevel, so it's near the end of the cycle. We'll keep our fingers crossed that it fits first time around. If not, we'll just have to take more off. This is a stronger lens, a stronger prescription. The lenses that came in there were very skinny lenses with no thickness. That's why we had to take it down some more. Now Roger, I want you to open the door this time with your mind. Pretty good, Roger. First day on the job and you're able to do it. Okay, dry the lens off. Run the thumbnail around to get all the thickness off the edge of the lens. I'm sorry, the swarf off the edge of the lens. And it wears a groove into my thumbnail. That's why I can't have nice thumbnails. So let's come back down here, grab the frame. My screwdriver is down here. We're going to do lefty-loosey. Loosen everything up. We're going to put the lens in inside the bevel. See if that screw head fits in there. Let's see. We're going to tighten it down. Yeah, it feels a little snug. There's still a gap. I'm going to take a little bit more off, like I do. You only get one chance to make everything perfect when you do mail order, so I'm going to take a little bit more off, put the lens back in, hit retouch. You know what's happening. It's going back down to the bevel wheel and gets smaller and smaller. Now I'm taking 1/10 of a millimeter off. To all my American friends who have no idea what a millimeter is, it is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/10 of that distance off until the lens fits in there perfectly. See a little swarf on the edge of the lens there? The water doesn't get it, my thumbnail will. The water hasn't gotten it yet. This looks like a job for thumbnail. Okay. The door opens. Hitting the button to release the Chuck, the Charles, the Chucky baby. So if anyone has a better name for this, write it down on a $100 bill and mail it to me to the address on the website. If I read it on the air, I will rename rename the Chuck to whatever you want to call it. So, that is if I read it on the air. I might just put it in my pocket. So again, let's tuck the left lens in. See if it wants to fit in there better this time. Make sure it's in every groove. Place your frame on this moleskin to protect the finish of your frame. Okay, got to get the screw hole lined up. Righty-tighty. Now that is in there perfectly, let's go ahead and take this block off. We're going to come back down here. Let me dry everything again. Leaving that red dot, we're going to put it in the lensometer. We're going to spin that fine-tune knob to 0.55. Paying attention to what we're doing this time. 0.55. Put it in at that red dot. And I am reading... Where's my flashlight? Come here, flashlight. I'm reading -275. 1 tick mark away from 3. Verify the power. Now you have an additional 150. 6 steps of astigmatism correction. And when we finish that, we are at 4 1/4. That's because, again, if you loan someone $2.75, then you loaned them another $1.50, they would owe you $4.25. 4 1/4 in the red. So your pupillary distance is 31.5 for your left eye, 32.5 for your left. I'm sorry, right and left, for a combined value of 64. I'm going to turn the card around, place the PD stick against my thumb, and then when we measure on the left lens, we're getting 64 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. Now, this is the portion in every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that there's free shipping anywhere in the US. But when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I'm no different, and I'll show you in just a moment. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, the bottom of the frame being 3. I set it on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. And when I say wobble, take my new Gucci's that I just made, been wearing them for less than 30 minutes. I'm wearing the model number 1119 in the color M14, which is the blue-red. I have adjusted it though, so it fits better. So when I put it on the counter, they wobble, but they sit level on me because I have one ear that's lower than the other. Put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing. Flip yours over, press down, there is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap evenly, and they do, and they're not askew or anything like that. Now this is what the lenses look like clear. Now of course I'm going to provide you with one of my own premium microfiber cleaning cloths and instructions, not only how to care for your frame and your lenses, but for my cloth, the Crizal cloth, and your Oakley bag, which is the Oakley cleaning cloth, so those two will last you for years. I also include a selfie request to have your picture on the website. Roger, I would love for you to be rocking these Oakleys on the website. Now this is what they look like clear. I'm going to go ahead and activate them, which means expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light here in my little Transitions Adaptive Lenses box. We're going to put that in there, and I'm going to turn the power on. As you can see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for all transition lenses to darken. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute 15 to return back to virtually clear. Now, Roger, pay attention. All transition lenses will get dark on day 1. Give them 2 weeks of exposure to the sun, and they're going to continue to darken every day for the first couple weeks until they reach their final potential. After that, they're going to work for years at maximum performance. The only time they won't work is if you're behind the windshield of a car. Your windshield absorbs all the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays, so your dashboard doesn't crack from sitting in the sun all day, and that's why they don't turn dark in a car. Now, as soon as you step out of the car, they will darken, but if you have a convertible or a motorcycle, they will darken there too. So that's that. If you have any questions, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. I hope to be offering Oakley soon. For now, Roger had to purchase the prescription and then purchase the add-on, which is Transitions and Anti-Glare. But in the future, hopefully, everyone will get free prescription lenses with the purchase of every Oakley. And hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.